Harlem, a name that today echoes through the world as a symbol of Black culture, art, and resilience, has one of the most fascinating and untold histories in New York City. But long before it became the heart of African American life, Harlem's story began in a completely different world. In the early 1600s, Harlem was nothing more than farmland, known as New Harlem, a small Dutch village named after a city in the Netherlands. It was quiet, rural, and filled with wealthy estates owned by New York's early elite. But by the late 1800s, everything began to change. As the city expanded north, speculators rushed to build elegant brownstones, expecting rich white families to move in. But when the economy crashed in the 1890s, those luxury homes sat empty, and this twist of fate would completely change Harlem forever. African American families escaping racial violence and seeking opportunity began moving in during the early 1900s. Among them were artists, writers, musicians, and intellectuals who would soon spark a revolution of culture and pride. This period became known as the Harlem Renaissance, a time when legends like Langston Hughes, Duke Ellington, and Zora Neale Hurston turned Harlem into the cultural capital of Black America. But what most people don't know is that Harlem almost never became what it is today. In the early 1910s, a white real estate mogul named Philip A. Payton Jr., often called the father of Harlem, took a huge gamble. When white landlords refused to rent to black tenants, Payton began buying up buildings himself and renting them out to African American families. His bold move not only opened the door for thousands of black residents, but also ignited the community that would change American culture forever. Through the 1920s and 1930s, Harlem was alive with jazz clubs, poetry, and political movements. The Cotton Club, though controversial for being segregated, hosted performers like Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald, who drew massive crowds. Harlem wasn't just about entertainment, it was about empowerment. Movements like Marcus Garvey's Back to Africa campaign started right there, giving people hope and a sense of identity during some of the hardest times in American history. Yet Harlem's story is also one of struggle. The Great Depression hit hard. Factories closed, jobs disappeared, and poverty rose. But even then, Harlem stood strong. A community that refused to break, finding ways to rise again through art, faith, and activism. Today, when you walk through Harlem, past the Apollo Theater, the brownstones, and the murals, you're walking through layers of history that tell a story of transformation. From Dutch farmlands, to a failed real estate dream, to one of the most powerful centers of Black creativity and pride the world has ever known. Harlem isn't just a neighborhood. It's a living monument to survival, reinvention, and the power of culture to change the world.